Hi, we're going to be talking about small group communication. Specifically, we're going to talk about leadership in a small group. So let's get started. So what size should a small group be? Well, it needs to be small. 3 is a really nice size for a small group. 2, 3, 4 people at a time. When a group is 2 to 3, maybe 4 people, it doesn't become too unwieldy. Everyone can participate. You feel more comfortable talking with one another, that sort of thing. Absolutely, there should never be any more than 8 people within a small group. If you're on a committee, if you're on a work group and you're in your job, you should never have more than 8 people in the work group because some people will simply be left out. Some people won't do a cotton picking thing, and some people will just try to ride roughshod over everyone. So a group of 3, 2 to 4 people, that sort of thing is best. Now let's talk about the participants' responsibilities in a small group. Now, when you are in a small group, you need to commit yourself to the goals of the group. You should establish what those goals are, and you yourself need to be part of the team. Otherwise, why are you in the group? Your job is also to fulfill your individual responsibility, your individual assignment in that group. Everyone has individual responsibility. You're also to avoid interpersonal conflict. You know, sometimes we work in groups where we have different personalities from the other folks in the group, and maybe those personalities conflict. You have to put that personality conflict aside in order to put forth the goals of the group. You need to encourage everyone else's participation. You know, there are a lot of folks in a group that will be reticent to contribute if they're not asked. So your job is to help encourage them to try to tickle out their points of view and embrace the discourse that can happen within a small group. And you're to keep the discussion on track. No running down rabbit trails. Don't try to get off on a tangent on something that's not part of the goal of the group. Now, there are different types of leaders in a small group. There is the designated leader, the implied leader, the emergent leader, and the non-specific leader. The designated leader is someone who is elected or appointed when the group is formed. Think of it as sort of the chair of the committee or the director of a particular work group. They've been established from the beginning as the group leader. Then there's the implied leader. The implied leader is a group member to whom the other members will defer because of that person's rank or expertise. Think of that person as sometimes the manager of the group. You know, if you're ever in a work group with your boss, you will always defer to that boss as the implied leader, or you usually will unless that boss is very, very much into making sure that there's equal representation. If a job is very, very technical, then maybe you will defer to the tech support person because they have the most expertise. So an implied leader is that person who, by rank or expertise, is emerging as the leader. And speaking of emerging, the emergent leader is a group member who just emerges as the leader during the group discussions through a force of that person's personality. You know that kind of person, the person who's a take charge individual. Sometimes the emergent leader is there just because there is a void in the leadership. And sometimes the emergent leader is not the best choice to get the job done. Now, non-specific leaders are the group members who have equal influence and step up to the plate when they're needed from time to time. In a non-specific leadership role, maybe you have expertise in organization, and when it's time to work on the logistics of the matter, you will step up to lead. Or maybe you're the tech-savvy person, and when it comes to the technical issues, you will step up to lead during that part. The non-specific leader will step up when it's time for them to step up and step down when it's someone else's expertise at hand. Now, what are the functions of leadership? Well, a leader will take care of several different types of needs. There are procedural needs, task needs, and maintenance needs. The procedural needs are simply those routine housekeeping duties. For example, the person who is the leader might be the person who's setting the dates and the times for the meetings. They would prepare the handouts or the other materials. They would be the person responsible for starting and ending the meetings. Someone who is a leader in the task needs would be the person who does substantive actions to help the group complete its task. Maybe the leader will help analyze the issues, will collect information for the task. They will solicit other points of view, maybe even play the devil's advocate. They will attend to the task at hand to put forth the goal. Then there is the leader who will take responsibility for the maintenance of the group. That person will maintain the interpersonal relationships within the group, help the members get along, encourage participation in the group, encourage supporting behaviors, and make sure that the group members are satisfied with the group's progress. Now, when you are working within a group, you need to have a specific strategy for problem solving. One strategy for problem solving is we call the reflective thinking method. In order to use the reflective thinking method, you first have to define the problem. Think about what are we trying to tackle. Define it very, very specifically. Then analyze the problem. What are all of the nuts and bolts of the problem? What are some of the issues that underlie that problem? Once you've analyzed the problem, then you can establish some criteria for solving that problem. Set up what it is you need to do and the parameters for solving that problem. Then you can generate some solutions. As a group, think about all the potential solutions within that criteria for solving the problem. And then, as a group, select that best solution. This reflective thinking method is a nice, strategic way to tackle any problem. Now, I look forward to us working together in some small groups to solve some problems in class. Thanks.